Hello everyone and welcome back to another very exciting chess game. And this is actually one of the most beautiful chess games that I have ever seen by the great Emanuel Lasker, who had the white pieces in this chess game. So I think you have to see this chess game. I think this is a hidden gem by Emanuel Lasker, an unknown immortal chess game. So his opponent was an unknown chess player who had the black pieces. And this chess game was played in a chess simul, a 20-board chess simul from 1908 from the Brixton Chess Club in London, England. I don't know if this Brixton Chess Club still do exists in today. So this was more than 100 years ago. But Lasker played quite modern chess. Not maybe in the beginning, maybe he didn't play it with the perfect book knowledge in the beginning, but in the middle game and in the end game, he didn't play it much different than a modern chess grandmaster. So Emanuel Lasker starts the game with pushing the e-pawn e4. And we have e5, knight to c3. So Lasker's opponent is probably an unknown amateur chess player from England. Knight to c6, and we have the Vienna game. So knight to c6 by black. Knight to c3 is the Vienna game. f4, and this is the Vienna Gambit. So we have d6, knight to f3, knight to f6, bishop to b5, pinning the knight. Unpinning the knight, and then d3 by Emanuel Lasker. Developing the queen, queen to e7, and Emanuel Lasker castled, h6, knight to d5, and this is forking the queen and the knight. So knight takes on d5, e takes on d5. So with developing the queen on e7, maybe black is planning to castle from the queen side, but that move looks so clunky, so black is also blocking the bishop. So it didn't look so logical. After knight goes back, it is white to move. Because black has a clunky position, Emanuel Lasker decided to sacrifice his bishop. He played f takes on e5. What a move. And unknown chess player captured the bishop, so why did Emanuel Lasker sacrifice his bishop? It looks like Emanuel Lasker forgot about his piece. Maybe it looked like this was a blunder, but actually this was a logical sacrifice by Emanuel Lasker. So this was his idea. Bringing the rook over, rook to e1, and he is threatening to capture the d-pawn with the e-pawn, opening the e-file. So black is going to lose the queen if Emanuel Lasker captures the pawn. So we have king to d8, escaping, but if instead moving the queen, which is not a good idea, then c4 after defending the bishop, e takes on d6, and this is check after moving the king, knight to e5. So both attacking the queen and also black has a very difficult position actually. So if capturing the d-pawn with the queen, then knight takes on f7, family fork. So in this position, a rook to e1. Now first of all, let's take it back again. Emanuel Lasker sacrificed his bishop. An amazing move. So we have moving the king and bishop to f4. Developing the final piece and completing the development, and Lasker is threatening to capture the pawn, and that's a threat. So d takes on e5, knight takes on e5, and now knight to c6 is possible, winning the queen, check. So stepping aside and attacking the bishop, it is white to move. Now Emanuel Lasker played another surprising move, and he is not defending the bishop. He played queen to h5. What a move by Lasker. And we have bishop to c5, checking the king, but in this position, if capturing the bishop, then knight takes on f7. And black is in big trouble if not giving up the queen. Let's say there's actually two possible squares, safe squares for the king. If let's say king to c8, then we have queen to h3, and how to defend. You can only block with the queen, actually blocking with the bishop, or with the knight is not going to work. So if blocking with the queen, it is just simply game over. Getting checkmated like this. But if, let's say, not blocking with the queen, let's say if blocking with the knight, I'm sure you can guess what's happening here. This is getting checkmated. And if, let's say, blocking with the bishop, it is the same thing. We have rook to e8. This bishop is pinned. So after this move, instead of king to c8, let's say king to d7. Then we have queen to h3, and this is even worse. Black is getting checkmated in next move. The king is stuck, so one of the only defense is queen to g4 or f5. Let's say queen to f5, capturing the queen and getting checkmated. So you can see that this is actually a pretty dangerous position for black. Black played bishop to c5. We have king to h1. Well, I think in this position, Emanuel Lasker is threatening to play bishop to g5. And that's all over, actually, for black. Pinning the queen and winning. Because if queen takes, knight takes on f7, forking the king and the queen. If capturing, then capturing the rook. So, for example, let's make a random move. Then bishop to g5 is winning because queen is pinned. So if capturing the bishop, then knight takes is forking the king and the queen. And if capturing the bishop, then we can capture the rook, and this is also losing for black. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking in this position. Correct me if I'm mistaken, if I'm doing something wrong. So anyway, in the real chess game, we have bishop to c5 after moving the king, defending the tender pawn with the rook, and now maybe black is threatening to capture the bishop. So Lasker played rook to f1, lining the bishop with the queen, and then bishop goes back for the extra defense, and then placing the rook in the semi-open file, bishop to e7, and basically black wants to play queen to h4, and Lasker played knight to c4. This opens the bishop, and bishop takes on c7 is possible, winning the queen, check. So queen to h4, and black wants to exchange the queens. And what would you do in this position if you had the white pieces? Lasker played an amazing move. So can you see how white can win after this position? Actually, white has a forced win in this position. Yes, that is true. So can you see how white can win after this position? If I give you a couple of seconds, there is a very strong move for white in here. So of course, black's idea seems like a logical idea because Emanuel Lasker is a piece down. He sacrificed his bishop, as you can remember. So how should white play here? If I give you 3 seconds to pause the video, can you see how white can win by force? Okay, I think we have waited enough. Lasker picked his bishop on f4, and he played bishop to c7, sacrificing his bishop on c7. And black didn't accept the sacrifice. We have king to d7. Let's see what was the idea of Emanuel Lasker. If king takes on c7, then we have, well, actually, rook takes bishop, queen takes rook, and then d6, forking the king and the queen is winning enough. So if you think rook takes bishop, you are correct. That is winning by force. So after rook takes bishop, if moving the king, of course we capture the queen, eliminating the defender. But actually this is more engine continuation in my opinion. d6, check, forking the king and the bishop. So if moving the king, then we capture the bishop with check. And if capturing, this is actually a must, we capture the queen. And if king to d7, then we capture the bishop, and if capturing the queen, capturing the rook with promoting the queen, and this is also winning for white. White is much better in this position. So after king takes, pushing the pawn, and if bishop takes, this is unnecessary to say, but queen takes on h4, of course capturing the queen. Black is no longer defending the queen. So okay, in this position we have bishop takes on c7, not capturing the bishop, but Lasker is still winning. Can you see how? It is white to move and win. Okay, I hope you have seen rook takes on e7. So black has to capture back with the queen, otherwise losing the queen. And shortly getting checkmated, but after, did you see the move? It is white to move. This is the move, queen to f5, of course. And the only move for the king, of course, besides blocking with the queen and losing the queen with the d-pawn. King takes on c7, but black is still facing d6, forking the king and the queen, losing the queen by force. And it's still not over yet, but all of the pieces of black are in the 8th rank. The king is awkwardly placed on d6, so this is losing most definitely, not just materially but also positionally, actually. So black thinks that he has 2 minor pieces plus the rook against the queen, but actually in this position white is winning this rook by force, just like this. Check, check, zigzag checks, and then check. Of course, if king to e7, then we have queen to c5, and after moving the king, winning the rook. So king to c8, but forking the king and the rook, and this was too much for black. Black decided to resign. What a game by Emanuel Lasker. So I wasn't exaggerating when I told you that this is actually one of the most beautiful chess games by Emanuel Lasker that I have ever seen. So a very instructive and amazing chess lecture as well, in my opinion. An amazing chess game. So we can use this chess game as a very instructive chess lecture as well. Very beautiful chess game by the legend Emanuel Lasker. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time with more interactive chess games. Take care and bye bye.